We all love the low country lifestyle, which is why we should do our best to protect it. To get insurance that helps you protect your home from whatever the low country throws at you, contact CT Lowndes and Company today. Their local agents can review your coverage to help make sure you're properly protected. CT Lowndes and Company has been helping protect and insuring the low country since 1850. Visit ctlowndes.com to learn more and request a quote. That's CTLOWNDES.com.
All right, so this is a Nove Education podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode. I hope everybody is doing all right. It is Tuesday morning, September the 5th, and we are back. I know it's been a minute, but we had some technical difficulties, regarding, laptops, recording devices, all that gizmo gadget bullshit that nobody wants to hear about, but got that shit situated, and now we are officially back. You know what the fuck I'm saying? Probably better than ever. Probably better than ever, but yes, so apologies for that. But here we go. This week, we are well into the college football season. I know I usually give my Trojan March, in fact, regarding that Trojan March as well, I was recording that episode while everything went to shit, and that's when that bullshit all started, and I felt kind of weird to just put out a little clip, a little video on the social medias, you know what I'm saying, because you know how I do it, bro. But I guess if I wanted to wrap things up, sum everything up, what you thought, baby? 2-0 already, but beforehand, I was saying, last season, we found out shit wasn't all nice. Shit wasn't all sweet. Even having the best player in college football on your side still don't mean shit unless you have a defense to back that up. As we saw against Utah twice, and as we saw against Tulane in that bowl game, when there's no heart and the defense, there's no chance to win any type of championship, even with the best player in college football. So going into the season, I've seen already 2 games. There's still a lot of things we can improve on. One thing on the offensive side that I would like to improve on is, don't get me wrong, I love the improvisation. I love Caleb improvising because he can do that. But I would like to see the offense go a little bit more smoothly, have more of a game plan than, more. Of course, it's always got to have plan Bs, but I would like to see a game plan just come to fruition in a few drives. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, as an offense, if you don't have a solid game plan, and if you're going to have to keep improvising your way through a season, it's not going to end well with better defenses, later on in the day. So that's what I can say about that offense. Running back room looks great. Caleb looks beastly still. The receivers look nice. We look nice offensively, but there's just a lot of things we can still improve on. Now, as far as defensive side, we knew that would be a big thing to step up with, from last season. I would have hoped in the coaching room, instead of playbook, it just says defense. Defense, because that is what's going to get you over the top. That's what's going to give your Heisman quarterback a chance to win the game. That's what's going to give other teams, heartbreak. The same heartbreak that I felt, you know what I mean? So yeah, if I would say that's what we need to improve on. But the defense does look a little bit better. We have been playing against not the top notch of the squads. That's how it is in college football. The first 2 weeks are, those those tune-up games. You play a team like Appalachian State, beat the living shit out of them. So that's what I would say is what we could improve on. But last game, I did see that freshman, I forget his name, but the freshman linebacker, number 25, he looks dope, bro. Our linebackers looked apart. I know Gentry was out, but I think our linebackers are dope. We cannot be having any of those mistakes again. And I'm talking about the targeting hit. It was like in the second quarter. Luckily, it was in the second quarter because he's a talent, but I would not like to see any of those type of plays. Get the tackle, make sure you get the tackle instead of trying to get the big hit before anything. Luckily, SC had the game in the bag, and he doesn't have to miss this next game against Stanford, who I think is going to be, the first tough test for SC. Because although this is the last season in the Pac-12, there are monsters in the Pac-12 right now, bro. It just needs to be said. I guess we could talk about it already too. Colorado, what happened with Colorado this past weekend? It was great, bro. If you weren't watching that game, I mean, that was badass, bro. I wanted to hate on it so much, but you cannot hate on that shit, bro. That's a badass story. It was a badass game, and that's what college football is all about. Like, real shit, that is what college football is all about. And I guess the only questions I would have from I guess that game is TCU real? Or is the Colorado defense not real? You know what I mean? Because the scores were up. That means there was no defense played. And usually when there's not good defenses on the field and the score just keeps running up, it's usually the more athletic team who ends up coming up with a turnover, hence Travis Hunter, or who ends up scoring a big play on offense to win the game. So I would like to see a lot more tests. I mean, not so much for TCU. You know, obviously they're not the squad of last season. Oh, sorry, just dropped something. But I think I would always like to see how Colorado's going to do next. Because they calling us out already, you know. Not them necessarily. I think they are just, you know, going with their emotions. But I think as far as the reporters, the NFL, the college football outlets, the analysts, everything, social medias has pointing to Colorado versus SC in Colorado as a huge, huge game. And I think, as I would always predict, that the SC haters are going to be going with Colorado. And I say bring it the fuck on, bro. That's all I got to say about that. Just bring it the fuck on, because I would love for Colorado to be an early test for us. And if we can get past that, that's not just like a big win in the Pac-12. That's a huge win for the SC. You know, could learn a lot from that game, because the teams that we do need to be worried about come a little bit later, come a little bit after. You know, I'm talking about Washington, talking about Oregon up there, talking about maybe Utah later on, talking about Notre Dame, you know, and then of course that UCLA game, that's always, don't matter what you rank, that's always a big game. But so I'm ready, bro. As an SC fan, where all my Trojans stand up, you know, victory. Hold on, let me pick this shit up real quick. Just dropped my my AirPods. It's all good. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about SC right now? What do you guys think about the whole Colorado situation? The best shit that I seen on the social media about, you know, college football or whatever. Of course, there's always the highlights, but there was this video of like the TCU fans going, pass it to Travis Hunter, thinking like, hey, they're gonna fucking they're gonna come up on Travis, and then he shuts the game down with the game-winning, very badass, high athletic interception, you know, and that was bad as fuck. Because then the camera turns around and he was like, who said that? Like, who called him out? Who called him out? You gotta love that type of shit, bro. Instant karma. But I'm ready for the season. You know what I'm saying? As well as I'm ready for the NFL season. You guys ready? Fantasy managers, you guys ready? Is there a player you guys think is going to be the league winner? I got a couple, I think. That might be league winners, but yeah, you know, I already drafted on my drafts. Why not? I think Zay Flowers, first of all, I think he could be a big time league winner. A lot of people fell in love with that play that he ran against the Commanders with the preseason. If you guys don't know who Zay Flowers is, he is a receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. And Baltimore, although they do have a number one reception leader, which that will be Mark Andrews, of course, there's no true wide receiver one in that room. And I know Lamar is fiending for a wide receiver one, you know, so he could say whatever he wants to say about Zay Flowers. And, you know, you're always going to talk good about your teammate. But when you see the opportunity and you see your type of skills, what you're doing best at is actually translating onto the field. You know what I'm saying? To preseason games, yes, but it still looked the part. And I think he's going late enough for you to snatch him up, and he could be your third wide receiver, and you could be good, especially in a PPR league. Dude has speed, dude has great route running. And I'm not going to lie, dude, like he looked like a little bit, there's always I'm not going to say it, bro. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it until it happens, and then I'm going to revert back to this moment. I'm going to have this shit recorded. Let's have this shit recorded right here. So that's what I think could be some league winners. Obviously, there's a lot of handcuffs that could do it for you. But how did you guys do in your drafts? I had 4 drafts this weekend. It was dope, bro. It was dope. I had an in-person draft last weekend and then an in-person draft for this weekend on the 5 to Life. Of course, I'm going to be talking about, those 2 squads the most because those are the big squads for me. But yeah, we're going to see how everything goes. Let me know how your guys' squad did. So now, what I really wanted to do is go over who I think is going to win their divisions. This is just a quick, brief summary. I know I usually would have liked to go into every division in depth per episode, but I couldn't do that this past month because of the technical difficulties. So let's just go ahead who I think is going to win, maybe give a little bit of explanation. So first we're going to go off is the AFC East. This division has turned out to be a very top-heavy division, as most divisions are. Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. Jets, obviously, you know what's going on with them. They're having a new reborn season, which looks like they could be a Super Bowl front runner. But I will be going with the Buffalo Bills to win this division. I just think that the Jets have a hard schedule. And if they could win early in that schedule, then we might be talking, real shit. Jets might taking it all. But it's a tough schedule to go about. And the Bills don't really have that tough of a schedule compared to the Jets. Maybe even the Dolphins. Dolphins have a tough schedule. But I just think the Bills are still there. They still got the same squad. Don't know if their defense is as strong as it used to be. But just a year under the belt with having the chemistry with your squad, I think that has a lot to do with success, especially in, NFL and basketball, so NBA. So, so the AFC East, I'm going to have to go in with the Buffalo Bills. Who do you guys think right there? Let's go on to the NFC East side. This is turning out to be just a sleeper division right here. Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington Commanders. I think strictly off of the name values that you just hear, I think we all have the same winner, and I'm sorry to my girl, but I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. I think they only just got better in the NFL draft. They got 2 of the best defensive linemen in the draft. Both can possibly be the defensive rookie of the year. And they didn't really lose anybody except for Miles Sanders, who in that position is more of just like, all right, next man up type of thing, rotational type of thing. So I don't think they didn't lose too much, Cowboys still have questions that need to be answered. Giants have questions that need to be answered, but they definitely can be a sleeper in that division. Darren Waller, Saquon Barkley, and Daniel Jones, who has been a very, I don't want to say underrated quarterback, but rated about right. People know he got game, but people know he don't have above that. And I think Waller could put him above that. And if they make a trade mid-season for a wide receiver 1, probably like a Mike Evans or something, then the talk switches a little bit. But for now, I'm going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. On the AFC West side, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. This is going to be a dope-ass division right here. I know, Raider fans or whatever. I think they could still make a little bit of noise in this division. They could definitely put up, they always do. For some reason, the Raiders always put up a good game against divisional rivals, as is in all the other divisions, but more so I find in these type of games because the Broncos and the Chargers are 2 teams that I've seen play to their opponent's levels, meaning if their opponent is a high-octane, great defense type of team, the Chargers and the Broncos will play to that level. If the level is, a lower offense, lower defensive type of team, the Broncos and Chargers seem to always play at that level. So there's a toss-up right there, but I will not be going Raiders. And I will not be going to Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Los Angeles Chargers are going to take this division. It will be tough. There's a lot of things that need to be happening. I just think that the Chiefs are going to be off to a slow start, especially right now. There was just news about 20 minutes ago that Travis Kelce had hyperextended his knee, and his game 1 outlook is unexpected. Like, I think he's not going to play game 1. Sucks for me because I have him on my dynasty. Hey, I just traded for Pat Freiermuth, so I'm good. But that is going to be a big loss for the Chiefs. I'm talking about just game one, bro. Game one is a big, come on, bro. You got to set the tone. And I think the Chiefs lose to the Detroit Lions. Yes, there it is. There's a little sleeper pick for you. And if you got a pick 'em league, I'm going Detroit. I'm going Detroit that game. Just so you know. Just so you guys know. But I think with the addition of Kellen Moore, who I think is a great, you guys know my regards for him as far as the quarterback, the NCAA quarterback, one of the winningest quarterbacks in all of college football history. Boise State lefty, go look at him. But I do think he has been a great offensive coordinator. I know the last kind of taste of Kellen Moore we got was him being let go by the Dallas Cowboys. But the reason why, quote unquote, it's not really quote unquote, the reason why he was let go from Dallas was because Coach McCarthy had basically said the offense was scoring too much too fast. And it did not have time for the defense to rest. The offense was scoring too much too fast. You know, analytically, okay, I guess, yes, your defense does need time to rest. But his problem was doing his job. So now he goes to an offense who I think is just a tad bit better offense. Obviously, defense probably I might give it to Cowboys, but still probably the similar defense with similar type of playmakers. And they're going to a team that has had chemistry for a while and, you know, a coach that believes in them, a team that believes in their quarterback, and the weapons to do it. Kellen Moore and the Los Angeles Chargers take the AFC West, but it will be close. It will be close. All right, NFC West. This one's going to be it's more half and half, obviously. Chargers, Rams, Niners, Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be an easy one for me. 49ers, I think, take the division, but I think it's a little bit tougher than what a lot of people think. Coach McVay has always been a hell of a coach. I don't like him, you know, obviously for whatever reasons that happened in the past. Who that nation, baby? But he is a hell of a coach, and I doubt he will go out and not put up any type of fights at the beginning of the season, even if he was supposed to tank this season or last season. I think he's still going to give it his all. And they do lose Jalen Ramsey, but they did gain a couple of young studs. And they have a pretty good offense. We don't know where Cooper Kupp is going to be. I presume that Cooper Kupp is going to miss 6 weeks, but I still think the football mind that is McVay is still going to give the chance to his squad. So I'm going to go the Niners, and then I will go the Rams, and I'll go Seattle, and then Arizona. Yes, I said Seattle 3. Whatever we'll call it. We'll call it like it is. All right, AFC North. We got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. This one's probably the toughest one. It should be easy, and I will be going with the easy. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals, hearing that Joe Burrow is expected to be back for week 1. I think that puts a lot of, of the offensive weapons at ease a little bit. I guess that's what you want to say. You know, with Joe Mixon returning, Jamar Chase in his, third year or second year, right? I forget. T. Higgins in his third, fourth year. And then just having a little bit more chemistry with that defense on the defensive side. It's an easy pick, but it feels like I'm taking the shortcut way out. But I will be taking the Cincinnati Bengals. But each and every one of these teams can win this division. Baltimore, they could do it. Browns, they could do it. Steelers definitely can do it. And I think I'm going to have the Steelers coming in second. Barring any type of injuries, you know, this has nothing to do with injuries. I think this is just one of the best divisions in football right now. Now, here is what I would say is the second best division in football. Oh, shit, just lost my way. The NFC North, this is probably going to be one of the most electrifying divisions in football. We have the Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Minnesota Vikings. This one was tough, but I think I've had my heart set on this one team winning this division, and I kind of believe in it, and I think it could happen again because history does tend to repeat itself. I'm going to have the Packers winning the NFC North again, bro. I think there's a lot of people who have been believing more and more in Jordan Love. Looking at, camp, looking at the preseason, a little bit of preseason, a little bit of what happened last season. They lose Rodgers and they lose Allen Lazard, but they still have enough to gain upon young studs as far as Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and I believe his name is Jaden Reed. These are young studs that could grow with your quarterback who has finally got the keys, who has the draft capital, who was sitting behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And that quarterback just happened to be sitting behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and was inherited that team. If you guys know what I'm talking about, come on, bro. It's Rodgers, Favre, Brett Favre. I believe in Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is the real deal. Will he be a Rodgers type of player? Only time will tell. But I think he could be a type of player that can move the offense and give the offense opportunities to score. Depending on who they're playing on the other side, I think still just with the weapons they have and the known commodities in Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, I think that they can put up a big, big fight to a lot of these teams. I know Vikings just got a big draft pick in Jordan Addison, but there's still some things I would like for them to fix on the defensive side. The Lions, they're a close second for me. You know what I mean? But I just think the Packers have more consistency defensively and offensively as of barring last year. Now this year, new quarterback, I just believe in it. So I'm going to be going with the Green Bay Packers taking over the North, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the AFC South, Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans. This is going to be a fun division, not necessarily as far as like TV watching. I'm leaning more to the fantasy side. AFC South, you got CJ Stroud, Damian Pierce, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. The Colts, you have the Jonathan Taylor debacle, Deion Jackson, Richardson, Pittman. On the Jag side, you got Trevor, Travis Etienne, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, the good-ass defenses. And, of course, you have the King and King Henry, Deion Hopkins heading that way, Chigozie Okonkwo. There's just a lot of fantasy relevant players in this division that's not so, typically not great for fantasy. But, yes, I'm going to be going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're just the most complete team out of all these squads. If Indianapolis has what they got in Richardson and it starts off quick, then I think Indianapolis can run a quick second to that. But usually rookie quarterbacks, barring the great ones, they don't really show out the first few weeks. They got to get to first of all, get the timing of the NFL right and just getting into the swing of things, So I will be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars in that division. And now finally, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The NFC South, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Falcons, Panthers, Who Dat Nation Saints, and the Buccaneers right here. On paper, the Saints should be winning this division. I will be taking the Saints to win this division. As always, this is a fan analytical perspective. But for some reason, the Saints always, same thing as the Chargers, the Saints always play to the level of their opponents. Last year, we had trouble up against the Falcons and the Panthers, both games. I believe we may have lost both games between those teams, but we should have beat them. Yes, last year we had a lot of injuries on the defensive side, a couple of injuries on the offensive side. There was a new coach, a new system in place, and it was just kind of kind of riding fumes of the Saints of old. Now this looks like a whole new Saints team. Of course, Derek Carr going into the New Orleans Saints facility makes them. It bumps him up just a little bit. He's not no savior. I mean, he could be. There's opportunity now. But I think Derek Carr is a starting quarterback for the NFL. And at the time, it was them picking up Carr early, not even trying to fuck with the Rodgers debacle, or the first pick or whatever. They said, nope, let's just get let's go with the most solidest pick we can get right now, and let's pick up Derek Carr. Everything was cohesive. Everything seemed like that's what it was meant to happen. And now you got the solid offensive pieces in Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, Michael Thomas. In the backfield, even though Kamara's going to be suspended for 3 weeks, we have the touchdown leader from last year, Jamal Williams. We have a young stud rookie running back in Kendre Miller. I know I'm probably saying more names because it's the Saints, but we also have a solid defense. And a defense that has been slept on. If the Saints cannot play to the team's levels, their opponent's levels, if they stay at their level, which is a high-octane, run-stopping defense, then I think we should be good in the NFC South. But of course, the sleeper will probably be the Falcons and the Panthers, as usual, causing the trouble. They're the cavity in the tooth. They're the sore in my ass. Shout out to, what is that shit? Dukes of Hazzard, sorry. But yeah, so I got the Saints, Packers, 49ers, and Eagles all winning their division. Then I have the Bills, Chargers, Bengals, and Jaguars all winning their divisions. Who do you guys think is going to win, bro? Let me the fuck know. And then we could discuss it further, as well as, what do you guys think is going to be your sleeper for that fantasy season? Or who is your dark horse this season? A lot of people's dark horses is going to be the Jags. I'll go with the Saints. I think the Saints, if they could catch steam right away, hit a good streak down the end of the fucking the season, maybe make a good playoff run, I think we could find ourselves in the playoffs, and then maybe even upsetting some teams. But that's neither here nor there. Let me know. That'll be my dark horse. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. But let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Also, this next weekend, this Saturday, we have UFC 293, Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. I guess let's break it down. Because if you're listening this far, you probably already know what story led up to this. But in case you didn't, let's give a little bit of a breakdown of what happened. Obviously, Izzy is Izzy. He beats Pereira, comes back, takes his belt. There's this new chap in the middleweight division by the name of Dricus du Plessis, who is fighting out of South Africa, I believe. He wins a fight, and he doesn't call out necessarily anybody, but he says that he is the only true African fighter. Other people, they claim Africa, but he actually lives there still and still trains out of there. So that was the big thing that caught Israel Adesanya's attention. And it's a fight that possibly could happen because Izzy has cleared out that division. And we've seen the UFC put a fighter who makes a great story coinciding with Izzy. They put him on the fast track, hence the name Alex Pereira. That was a good story that because he cleared out the division, there's no one really there. So Dricus du Plessis has to be put up against a test to Robert Whittaker, who's a lot of people would say heir to the throne. If Izzy wasn't there, they would say that Whittaker would be reigning. But I had chose Dricus du Plessis on that fight because I heard that he had got a nasal passage surgery, clearing up air to his lungs. And that means more stamina in the fight. And all that stamina does play a part, ends up beating Whittaker. Now, the fight with Izzy versus Dricus du Plessis is supposed to be laid out. But du Plessis backs out of the fight because of an injury. And now who the fuck is next? Let's get the next biggest guy with the next biggest clout who Israel Adesanya has not faced yet. And let's give him a shot. And that is Sugar. Oh my God, bro. Did I just really say that? And that is Sean Strickland. Strickland, hey, I'm sorry. There ain't no sugar in your tank, bro. I'm sorry. I told you guys last time. But he's going to be fighting Izzy. And the card is not a great card, but there's a lot of fan favorite names that I've seen. Like Mike Blood Diamond is fighting. That's one of my favorites, just strictly off the name. Jamie Malarkey. We have Carlos Ulberg, Tyson Pedro, Justin Taffa, Tai Tuivasa, and Alexander Volkov, fan favorites. So not really star-studded, but it's usually these type of cards, they turn out to be some of the better cards because, they want to grind and show out and make the big hit, make the big play, make a great performance. So it gets trending on social media and shit, and they can get that extra fucking bonus, So usually these cards turn out good, As far as the main event, Izzy versus Strickland, look, if Strickland were to win, I guess let's talk this way. If Strickland were to win, it will have to be a dirty fight. And he will have to go through fucking hell. And he will have to fucking just eat some and keep walking. If he plays it lazy and safe, like he did against Pereira, he's probably getting slapped. Let's be real. But if Strickland can just go in, no fucks given, fuck the lights, fuck the title, and go out there and try to kick some ass, maybe even grapple him, then I think that's the only way to winning. Unless there's something that we don't know that Strickland has not shown us in his years of fighting, that he just becomes an all of a sudden badass just kickboxer with great range, speed, and defense, then okay, yeah, then you could talk to me. But I think it's for him to make it a dirty fight. And it's got to be a dirty fight. And it's got to be a TKO. It's definitely got to be a TKO. Probably won't be a submission, but hey, Strickland's ground game and submission game is pretty good. But he fancies himself a striker, so that's where I think the fight is going to lean towards. You know what I mean? So I am going to take, I'm going to take Izzy. I would not bet against Izzy right now, but it'll be fun. Starting tomorrow, I believe, and on Monday we had the embedded. Starting tomorrow, we're gonna have the press conference, and then we'll soon be having the weigh-ins, professional weigh-ins, the ceremonial weigh-ins. That'll be good. That'll be fun. We'll see how this goes. So I'm taking Izzy. Let me know who you got. And yeah, man, NFL football starts this Thursday, actually. So if I had any advice to give you for fantasy teams, take your Thursday night players out of your flex spot, put them in their position spot if you can, because just in case anything happens, you know what I mean? Travis Kelce is probably going to be out on Thursday. So there's a lot of tight ends that you could probably pick up who I think can make a good value. One of the biggest ones that I've seen on that list, who I was kind of looking at too, but not really, is the reason why I was looking at him is just to ice him. So no, my opponent cannot pick him up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a little bit more of a strategy. But Juwan Johnson from the Saints, I think he is a badass athlete and he's going very underrated. Yes, he probably won't get target share, but not a lot of tight ends get that share, and he has touchdown upside anytime in the 20, and he could take one to the house, bro. I see a lot of Chigo Okonkwo has been drafted, but saw in a couple of my leagues he's still on the waiver wire. Pick him up. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's going up against the Saints, and who knows? My Saints defense might let me down on Chigo Okonkwo, but we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. It has been a pleasure, and we are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties the past month. We'll be back, baby. Football season is fully underway. College football is about to get primed. We got some good fights coming up. We got some boxing news. Fantasy football is here. Let's get it. All right, peace. Catch you guys later. Peace.
All right, so this is a No Education podcast.